Hello, Chiefs Kingdom. I'm Steve, and I'm with Mike, and we are all chiefed up. Today, we're going to be talking about our fourth-round draft pick, Joshua Williams, cornerback from Fayetteville State University. We appreciate all the views and comments here on YouTube. Make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button. We could definitely use more subscribers. Got a lot of watchers, not a whole lot of subscribers. So if you guys are watching, you're enjoying it, hit that subscribe button for us. Mike, Joshua Williams, our fourth-round draft pick from Fayetteville State, cornerback. So this one was kind of a surprise pick. I think it was picked 135 in the fourth round. No one was expecting another cornerback when this happened.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit surprised. You was kind of still on your rant on defensive backs. So you actually said nothing against Josh Williams, but you think this is the most useless pick of our entire draft, I believe was a quote you used.
It was something like that. I don't think Joshua Williams is useless,
right.
But I think the pick was just silly.
I mean, thought it was excessive.
It was. I think that how many DBs we took in the draft was excessive, and maybe Veach will prove me wrong. Joshua Williams. So he was born October 17th in 1999. He's 22 years old. He's 6'3" at 195 pounds. He actually played high school in Fayetteville, North Carolina at Jack Britt. He also ran track at Jack Britt, and he ended up after his high school career there at Jack Britt, he ended up doing a 1-year post-grad at Palmetto Prep in Columbia, South Carolina. So quite a long high school career there for Joshua Williams. Do you have any stats on that for me, Mike?
So at Jack Britt High School, he held the record for the 100-meter dash. He ran it in a 10.65 seconds, which was insanely fast for a guy his size. He also played wide receiver his first 3 years of high school, and he done so horribly because I don't know, ball skill maybe? I don't know. He done so bad. He was actually thinking about joining the Army after his senior year until his coach switched him to corner and his senior year, and he actually went to college to play football. So big time career change there because there's a big difference between getting paid billions and then going to the Army. So, but,
I had no idea about that. That's crazy.
Right. I just read that yesterday, and I thought that was a fun little fact to throw in because a lot of kids, we grew up in a town where a lot of kids just said, I'm not going to college. I'm just going to the Army. And I felt like I could relate to his story. So I was like, man, kind of glad he found something and got it going because I think he's a heck of a football player if you watch some of his film from college.
So he went to college at Fayetteville State from 2018 to 2021. He was first team all CIAA in 2021, which I believe that stands for All Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association, if you wanted to know what that was. So actually his freshman year, he pretty much played nickel corner the entire year, his freshman year. He didn't move to the outside corner until his sophomore year, and he finished that season with 32 tackles, 1 for a loss, 11 passes defended, and an interception. So he bounced to the outside in his sophomore year, and then in 2020, the whole season was canceled for COVID. So after he got to the outside and started to get in comfortable there, whole season canceled. But he bounced back pretty good in his senior year. He had 31 tackles, 9 passes defended, 3 interceptions. One of those interceptions were returned for a touchdown for 32 yards. So, and then of course he ended up playing in the Senior Bowl in 2022 and doing the NFL Combine. People like what they saw in the Combine and at the Senior Bowl. What about you, Mike? Did you get to catch any of the footage from the Senior Bowl?
I did watch some footage of the Senior Bowl. He, the big knock on Josh is his competition level coming from a Division II school.
Absolutely.
And I know he was the last player drafted from Fayetteville State since 1976. So that's a insane. Long time.
That's
so
insane.
His competition level is the main knock on him, but he went to the Senior Bowl and he showed that he could hang. He was fast. He's pretty fluid in his hips. We'll get to all that in a minute, on like film breakdown. But the thing that I thought impressed me was someone wrote an article about him in his college days, and this is the direct quote. It's by a person named Martenzie Johnson, and they said the best way to describe Joshua is he has the confidence of Deion Sanders with the demeanor of Barry Sanders. And I thought that was a cool quote because Barry Sanders is hard-nosed, get it done, and Deion's got that like swag about him, so
flashiness.
Yeah, and you got to have that playing a corner, I believe. You got to you got to have a little self-confidence to play corner, because that's one of those positions every play you got to forget it. Either you make a big play or you get burned. You're going to have to forget it. So
Yeah, so you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like that's actually only one of the weaknesses I wrote down about Joshua Williams was his competition level was so low. It could take him several years to translate that over to the NFL and get on that level. With that, the only other things I really had to knock on Joshua Williams was he does get juked out of the outside leverage at times, and also he could shed blockers a little better than he does. So if he gets locked up in a block, you're not going to get much out of him. Open field though, he does square up defenders. He makes good tackles, but I feel like he's got a lot more strengths than weaknesses. What did you notice that you would consider his strengths?
his pros, everybody looks at him as a Seattle cover corner, that cover 3 press man. But I think his skill set kind of makes him play off man a little more, which I think the Chiefs are going to try that out a little bit more this year. He turns and runs with ease. He's got a good size, speed, length combination. I mean, that's pretty
Yeah, for
obvious.
sure. That's like the number one strength he has is just his exceptional size, length, and he's got good top end speed as well.
Right. He's got quick feet as well. And in run support, he plays with a linebacker style intensity. So he can run. Going back to the cons, I agree with you on some of those. I think he didn't jam at the line too much in the college footage I seen. So for him to be known as a man jam corner, the only times I seen him do it, he looked a little bit flat footed, and that he looked almost like he was blocking more than he was jamming. So
Right.
I did notice he did struggle to disengage with some blockers, as you said. And I think like his hips sometimes gets too high and he gets beat by quick receivers, which obviously if you're 6 foot, what is it? 6'3", your hips are going to be high. Let's be honest. And then
Right.
of course, he hesitates a little bit. There's some empty steps on some of his routes, but to be honest, Division 2, he was probably the best athlete on the field every single game. So that's why he was able to still put up the stats and stuff. But as you said, corner is a very tough position to translate to the NFL with. And him coming from a Division 2 school, and he's going to need a lot of work. And it's not a knock on him, but it's just the speed of the game. I mean, look how different it is. You can have a Heisman winning quarterback come in and the speed of the game overwhelms him.
Right. Like I said, he don't have many weaknesses, but that is a huge one that he had was playing very weak competition. So people don't really know what to go by. And he's taken a huge jump going from playing that Division 2 competition to the best in the world. One thing I do like about him is he lurks near routes and tries to bait bad throws. I have noticed that about him. So he's very smart when it comes to that. You'll notice he does that quite a bit. And also, he's got fluid hips and stuff and he get turned around quick, but he's got this slow, smooth back pedal and it makes it easy for him to stay with these receivers. So definitely some good things from Joshua Williams. But like you said, it could take a while for him to get acclimated to the NFL game.
You can be a top first round pick corner in this league and struggle. I mean, we just had one on the team last year that was a first round pick for Minnesota, I believe, and Mike Hughes. And here he was now in like what, year 3, year 4, year 5, somewhere like that. And he was still struggling. He
Right.
got burnt over and over again in the playoffs against, Josh Allen and the Bills. But yeah, I think it's just something he'll have to stick it out. The coaches have to coach him up, and he should be able to, get some meaningful reps with our team. How much of an impact he makes in year 1 or 2 is negligible, and nobody knows, to be honest. But did you get a player comparison to him? I know I like to ask you that one all the time.
I think the player comparison I like the most for him would be Cleveland Browns cornerback Grady Williams.
I like Greedy Williams. I think
Yeah,
that's a pretty good comparison.
they're very similar.
The only thing I could come up with was size, speed. He's obviously not as polished as this kid was coming out of Florida State. I don't know if you remember. I mean, I know you remember the guy, but Antonio Cromartie. That's a big name. But the size speed combination, the way he kind of, like you said, smooth back pedal, kind of baits routes. He's got those qualities. Is he going to be Antonio Cromartie? Eh,
That's a tough
that's
task.
that's a lot to throw on his shoulders, but that's who I seen. That's kind of who he resembled. So I'll say a poor man's Antonio Cromartie, and let's hope he surpasses Cromartie. That would be amazing for Chief fans.
All right, guys, that wraps up all we know about Joshua Williams. So if you guys learned anything about him today, make sure that you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and stick with us. We'll be back with more on our 5th round pick, Darian Kennard, offensive tackle from Kentucky. So you guys have a good one. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.